When we think of places like Hawaii and Florida, we usually envision beautiful beaches, pristine water, and vibrant marine life. But below the surface, hiding in plain sight, is an ecological disaster fueled by sewage spills and failing wastewater systems.
The city of Fort Lauderdale rushing to clean up more than 200 million gallons of toxic sewage.
Sewage spill that's dumped millions of gallons of wastewater.
Seems you cannot go a week without hearing about a sewer break.
All new tonight, the head of Hilo's wastewater treatment plant warns the facility is in danger of complete failure.
Swim at your own risk, you're risking infection.
Decades of neglect have left America's wastewater infrastructure outdated and deteriorating. And as a result, sewage spills and system failures release approximately 900 billion gallons of undertreated sewage into our waters every year. But why is this happening, and what can we do about it? We talked to surf riders, activists, and experts to find out more about what's going on and what can be done.
Some of the biggest issues that we have with water quality at the beach is stormwater runoff and also sewage spills, sewage infrastructure failure. So in areas that are on cesspools and septics, our household waste isn't being treated properly, and we end up with too much pollution into our local waterways and out at the beach. In areas that are sewered, we have pipes under the ground that have been there for 100 years and they haven't been maintained properly, and they're failing and they're breaking down, and we're hearing too much sewage spills, too much overflows, there's too much water getting in, and not all of our sewage is properly treated before it ends up right out at the beach where you like to play. Individual wastewater systems like cesspools and septic systems really fail to treat our wastewater because all of the nutrients are not treated at all, and they get into our groundwater where it can contaminate groundwater, and then it goes into our bays and our estuaries where it causes over-nutrification. So it causes these harmful algal blooms to bloom, which can be toxic to people and animals. It can smother coral reefs. It can kill off and block the sunlight from seagrass meadows, which so many species depend on. And too much nutrients from septic systems and cesspools are really, really harming those environments.
Just thinking about Florida's water issues, water quality, water quantity, water supply, water delivery is intimidating. We have so many serious problems that we have waited way too long to fix, whether it's Everglades restoration or getting people off of septic tanks or modernizing our wastewater treatment systems. We haven't done it. The wastewater treatment facilities, for the most part in Florida and really around the country, they're old. And they're not up to the task. They're not up to the task of this many millions of people. They're not up to the challenges posed by climate change, the increased flooding, for example. And so when they're over capacity, they just discharge. And even when they're operating somewhat normally, if it's heavy rain and flooding, you get what's called inflow and infiltration. The water gets in the pipes and it overwhelms the system, so they discharge. So those are the three main ways that sewage gets into our waterways.
My name's Don Fujiyama. I'm a surf instructor at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel in Waikiki, and every other weekend on Sunday we come here to do water testing for the Surf Rider Foundation for the Blue Water Task Force. There are two sites here in Waikiki. One's right here, and then the other's over there. It's not what we can see, because we don't always see it till a couple days later, and then think, ugh, I'm glad I took a shower. But and again, it's not always what you can see that comes out in the testing. We've done this for about 4 years now, and it's really good information to have, because it's not just this area where all the people are, but in other areas like Chocolates or even in Hakipu on the other side of the island where there's more rain.
Here we are down at the spot we've called the Hakipu boat ramp. It's very close to the bottom of the earth. That's just right around about maybe 50 yards over there where the awai comes out. And this, of course, is the other awai, the irrigation that runs through the native taro patches that are still organized as they were for thousands of years, and comes down and out to sea here. What really brought us to understanding what the Blue Water Task Force is and how important it is was a call from the guy who runs the testing, Brother Dan, saying, we hear you are doing water testing in Hakipu'u. We'd like to add this as a spot for testing. We have no data whatsoever from the north end of Kaneohe Bay. And that kind of blew me away, but it's understandable. A lot less access out this side of the bay. It was almost better for all the years of not knowing. what we swam in and played and raised our kids in. And yet to recognize that this is just one point on a map in a large bay on an island with over 1 million people on it.
Our citizen science water quality monitoring is really important, not only because they're collecting the data, but we have so much data for certain places that we can see where the chronically polluted areas are, and from there we can really affect policy change or specifically target areas to address where is that pollution coming from and how can we address that specific source of pollution to ensure that that area of water is cleaner for ocean users.
We test about 500 beaches nationwide, about 7,000 samples every year that we process, and we share those results. We post them all online on our Blue Water Task Force website, and then each chapter shares those out into the community. They post them on their social media pages, they go out and give presentations in the community, and they present them to their local decision makers and officials to help direct the funding and the priorities that they have to solve pollution issues locally. There's no politician who's ever told me clean water is not important to me or my constituents. It all comes down to money and priorities. How much are we going to invest? Who are we going to invest in to fix the problems? Surfrider is calling on Congress to make some major investments so we can really fix our wastewater infrastructure, upgrade it, modernize it, so we're better treating our waste and protecting clean water locally. Our wastewater infrastructure have been pipes under the ground left out of sight and out of mind for far too long, and we really have to invest there because clean water and healthy beaches really drive the economies in coastal communities and support people's way of life.
With our grassroots network mobilized around this issue, we are bringing together local communities to build awareness of water quality problems so the causes can be found and fixed. Together, we can solve this problem and ensure our coastal environments are safe and healthy for today and future generations to come. To learn how you can get involved and help protect clean water for all people, visit surfrider.org.